being able to innovate and produce a culture and to produce an end product of whatever it is that they're trying to do that can ultimately be better because you have more perspectives.
That's Aniyia Williams. She's the founder and CEO of TINSEL, and she's also the CODE2040 Entrepreneur in Residence at Galvanize. This season of Techpreneurs gives you an insight into not only how these entrepreneurs in residence are building tech, but the backstory of how they entered the industry.
I met someone, they said they were looking for someone. I'm like, okay, I'm definitely overqualified for this job, but I want to get into working for a tech company. This company sounds really cool, and I don't know anybody. I need to meet people. And so that was kind of the beginning of, a 3.5 year amount of time that I ended up working there. And during my time there, did social media support, biz dev and sales. I did marketing, and by the end of the time, I was running the marketing team. And during that time, that kind of is also sort of how TINSEL was conceived.
This is what TINSEL is, and later you'll hear a little demo of how it works.
So TINSEL, we are making tech jewelry for women. I'm actually wearing one of our prototypes around my neck right now. It's a necklace that has headphones built into it.
You're listening to Techpreneurs, a podcast about stories of tech entrepreneurs. My name is Clark Buckner. This episode highlights Aniyia Williams with her story in tech and the benefits and importance of diversity in startups, especially during this hyper-growth time of the industry.
You don't want to have any major industry that's growing in this country be something that's exclusionary, especially when this country is a melting pot of all different kinds of people. So it should be represented that way.
We're happy to bring you these stories with the support of the Nashville Entrepreneur Center, one of the Google for Entrepreneurs tech hubs. I could not be more excited to have you right here along with me. I hope you subscribe. You can visit us at techpreneurs.co or just search Techpreneurs anywhere you download podcasts. Enjoy!
You basically have this necklace that I'm wearing, and then when you lift up this top chevron inside, there are earbuds. And so you take those out and put those in your ears. And then there's also in the back of the necklace, there's a clasp, which is,
Right.
And then you unplug that, and it has a 3.5 millimeter jack, and you plug that into your device. So your phone, your laptop, your tablet, whatever.
So no more like annoying wires stuffed in the bottom of a purse or...
Yes. Have you been reading our website? Yeah, that's exactly
that's it.
That's what we say. That was how it was conceived, was that I had this pain point of I consider my headphones to be what I call a modern day essential. It's not, food, water, shelter, but I need them every day. And it's like a great inconvenience to my sanity and productivity if I don't have my headphones. But my purse is a very dangerous place. Things disappear there. They're never saw again. So it's a serious business.
Well, I know this is audio only, but we'll definitely have some links on this post about what it looks like. But basically, it's just like a really stylish necklace, and it looks really nice. And then it kind of transforms. You kind of goes into it.
Yeah.
The headphones. I love it.
Thank you.
So, how did you find yourself in tech before this?
Well, yeah, because I have a very my past. There's a common thread that kind of connects all of the things, but I moved to San Francisco. That was kind of the start of it. My husband is a software engineer. He got recruited to work at a company in San Francisco. And at the time we lived in the DC area, I was actually working in nonprofit fundraising for arts organizations and loved it. It was great. But then when we decided, okay, we're young and crazy, and this company is going to pay you to move across the country. Let's do it. I'm going to quit my job. I'll figure it out when I get there. And interestingly enough, that same year, we had come to South by Southwest for the job that he had back in DC, and I came with him and kind of got to get a glimpse of what was happening in the tech industry. And part of me also was kind of like, yeah, this is where it's at. And so, when we got out there, I ended up falling in with Voxer. So they make a walkie-talkie app for smartphones.
I love Voxer. It's great.
Yeah. And it just, ended up being one of those things where I moved out there, didn't know anyone, actually kind of thought I was going to start my own business making wigs. I have a hobby of making wigs. I'm wearing a wig right now that I made. And I was like, I'm going to start an Etsy shop. It's going to be great. But I also kind of wanted to get out there and meet people. So when I started at Voxer, I actually started as a part-time office manager there because I was like, I met someone, they said they were looking for someone. I'm like, okay, I'm definitely overqualified for this job, but I want to get into working for a tech company. This company sounds really cool, and I don't know anybody. I need to meet people. And so that was kind of the beginning of, a 3.5 year amount of time that I ended up working there. And during my time there, did social media support, biz dev, and sales. I did marketing. And by the end of the time, I was running the marketing team. And during that time, that kind of is also sort of how TINSEL was conceived, when I just think about how much I would be listening to music or using audio for the app all the time in my headphones, and the pain point. So yeah, that was kind of
because
part of
Voxer,
it.
I mean, it's all audio. I mean, it's walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
And so when you take that, and you're also classically trained.
Yes,
right?
yes.
As a singer.
I'm a classically trained singer. Yeah. So that predates my fundraising, in that I've studied voice for as long as I can remember, but that's actually what I have my degree in is music. And I didn't want to live in a cardboard box, so I figured I should get a job with a steady paycheck. Although it's ironic, because when you think of it now as an entrepreneur, I haven't had a salary in a 1.5 years. So I kind of came full circle on the sort of stability point anyway. But yeah, and so that's how I went into fundraising. But I am a classically trained singer. It's true.
Well, let me ask you this question. This might be maybe off the path a little bit, but what is your connection to audio? I mean, what you have on now as a wearable device, it being transformed, a necklace, into headphones, and you came out of a great tech company like Voxer, and being trained.
Yes, and I'm also on the board of Women's Audio Mission, which is a nonprofit in San Francisco. They are changing the face of sound. So they basically are working to provide more opportunities for girls and women in the sound and audio engineering industry, which is less than 5% women. And it's also, so they have a studio in kind of the mid-market area of San Francisco, and it's incredible. It's one of the only studios in the world that's built entirely by women. It's run entirely by women, and they bring in girls starting from middle school age up to, women. They do internships. They do, sessions where they teach them about the physics of sound, and they show them how to use the sound equipment and the soundboard. They do everything from show them how to work with Raspberry Pi and do Arduino and the whole thing. So the recording studio is kind of a carrot, really, to get more girls and women in tech and kind of give them exposure to other women who do this, to show them that this is something that you could do too. So it's really, really cool. I love it. But yeah, so theme of audio, sound, and theme of women. My product is for women. I'm all about, providing opportunities for women and minorities in general, as myself being a Black woman. And so these are kind of the diversity angle, also a really common thread in my life as well.
I think that's a great transition to talk about some of the things you're really excited about. So what are some of the things that you're really looking forward to with your plans to help diversify tech?
Yeah, I think actually what I'm most excited about is the fact that it's becoming a part of the conversation today, that it's something that people are thinking about. It's front of mind for a lot more people than it was before. So it doesn't feel like something very abstract. It feels like something that people want to understand and they want to do better. And so it just feels like a good time. So that to be able to be a part of it right now is exciting in general. And I'm excited because, I feel like, Silicon Valley, San Francisco, the whole Bay Area, it's very much obviously known for tech, and increasing the diversity there is an important thing, because like I said, as a Black person who lives in San Francisco, I feel like maybe there's subtly changing, but there are times I can go days without seeing a Black person walking down the street, where, not counting homeless people. It's where are they? They're not in San Francisco. They're maybe in the East Bay. I don't know. But anyway, it's kind of like that when you walk into a tech company too.
What do you think companies miss out on? Because you've worked in tech for several years in marketing, and very much so public facing to other tech companies and everything that a tech startup goes through. So what do you think is being missed out on
at a company? I think that the company misses out on being able to innovate and produce a culture and to produce an end product of whatever it is that they're trying to do that can ultimately be better because you have more perspectives. And, you know, with that, there can be challenges with having that kind of diversity in the workplace as well, because people come from different backgrounds. They have different kind of understandings of interactions, and obviously working at a company is a lot of interactions with a lot of different people. So there's a lot of things that have to happen there as well. But I'd say that for the growing prominence that tech has today in society, like it's definitely mainstream. Like tech isn't just, you know, something that's just like, oh, it's nerds with pocket protectors. Like tech is everywhere. Like it's in our hands all the time. And so people care about it, and people care about the growth of the industry. So you don't want to have any major industry that's growing in this country be something that's exclusionary, especially when this country is a melting pot of all different kinds of people. So it should be represented that way for a company as well.
So I'd love to hear, what else are you really looking forward to as an EIR? Maybe this is what you're going to be working on, or maybe this is just general thoughts that you're feeling now.
Yeah. Well, I would say that kind of related to that theme of me having a lot of the ideas around diversity and wanting to spread that in my life, in my company, and things that I've done in the past, and being involved with CODE2040, I really have a great optimism about where things are headed. I think that there is a lot of work to be done, but I'm seeing across the board, it's not just kind of this core community of the minorities who are like trying to unite to make something happen and nobody cares. Like it seems like, you know, more and more people are caring on the other side that want to understand, and they want to know, what can I do? They recognize that they come from a place of privilege, and they want to be able to balance or level the playing field, as I should say. So I have a really, really great outlook on how this can all turn out. So yeah.
I love that. It's very optimistic, and it makes me I'm really looking forward to this.
Now we're going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Right. It's going to be great.
So how about this? So before our time ends, I would love to hear a little bit more about TINSEL and just kind of what you're most excited about. I know you have a prototype on right now. Yeah. So what's on your horizon?
Yeah. So with TINSEL, it's been a really fun, scary, exciting journey. And when I started this company, I mentioned what the pain point and everything, but like I just had this concept in my head. I had no idea how to bring this to life. I had never manufactured a thing before. I'm not an electrical engineer or any of those things. And so finding a way to kind of forge that path has been exciting and very, very fulfilling. Where we are today is having, finished developing the product. We finished tooling with our manufacturer. We did an Indiegogo campaign at the end of last year and had a successful campaign. So that was great. And so we're getting ready to ramp up production soon. And I'm just excited to be able to go into a store one day and like see this thing on the shelf that I made this thing. Like,
I hope you record that experience somehow.
Yeah, that will be trippy. That'll be trippy.
But that's your idea that you've just had, and that it's a reality.
Yeah.
Well, how can someone follow along with what you're doing?
Well, I would say you should subscribe to all of the things.
Yes.
Especially for TINSEL, like you can follow on our blog. We talk a lot about kind of chronicling our journey and how things are coming along there. We love sharing that story. And and Galvanize too. There's always exciting things I know that they have going on, lots of events and all of that. So get a part, to join the tribe.
Yes. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you sharing your story, and I'm looking forward to following along.
All right. Thank you.
This season of Techpreneurs is powered by the Nashville Entrepreneur Center in support of the Google for Entrepreneurs Tech Hub Network. Find out more about the EC and their accelerator opportunities like Project Music and Project Healthcare at ec.co. To learn more about Code2040 and how to apply to be an entrepreneur residence, head on over to code2040.org/entrepreneurs. We hope you'll join us next time when we talk to Alex Rodriguez, co-founder and CEO of WorkMend. He's the entrepreneur resident at Coco in Minneapolis.
Yeah, so COCO is a collaborative co-working space. That's pretty much what COCO stands for. And the unique thing about COCO, as opposed to being like an accelerator or like an incubator, it's really more like a dream accelerator. So we really accept anyone who's really just trying to fulfill their dreams, whether you're a startup founder, you're a podcaster, a startup attorney, whatever it is, we support that.
Thanks again, and we'll see you soon on another episode of Techpreneurs.